My name's Midya Pitkin. I'm a personal trainer, and today we're going to learn about some strength training exercises. This video is intended to be instructional, and so you can follow along as you like, but I'm not going to be doing full sets of things. It's more talking about how to do the exercises properly. This video is filmed for Waldo County General Hospital for their Journey to a Healthier You program. And if you have not exercised in a while, you should go online and check out a PAR-Q. And if you answer yes to any of the questions, then you should certainly consult with your doctor before starting exercise. And just use good sense. And I also have some more specifics about strength training guidelines, how to progress, how to get started on my website, which is pitkinfitness.com. And that would be there's a blog section, and then you could find the strength training guidelines under the blog section. I hope that's not too complicated. So today, I'm going to go over some progressions. These are some, if you are just going to do a few strength training exercises, I think these are some really good ones to do, and I'm going to give you an easier version and then harder versions because you want to progress as you strength train. That's the idea, is you want to keep increasing the challenge as your strength grows. So, one of the best, we've all heard of them, squats. So squats, for most people, you want to have a little bit of a lift under your heels. So I use a folded up yoga mat. I fold it into about 8s. And then I have my heels on the mat and balls of my feet on the floor. And for a squat, you just want to imagine that you're getting ready to jump and then stand up. Getting ready to jump and then stand up. Once you can do 6 of those easily in under 10 seconds, you're definitely ready to advance to split squats. So split squats, you no longer need your heel lift. What you're doing is you're bringing one foot out in front, one foot in back. If you want a trickier version, it's like you're on a balance beam. You bring one foot right in front of the other. For an easier version, you have a wider base of support. And all you do is you drop your back knee down and come up. Back knee down and come up. I'll show you the other side from the side so you can get another view. So basically, you want your back thigh perpendicular and your calf perpendicular to the floor. So you do not want to be doing this. That's harder on the knees. It's just dropping down and up. So that's split squats. And then, once you can do 15 of those on each side nice and easily, then you want to move on to lunges. And lunges you can do to the back. And I like to do alternating sides so that I don't have to count quite as carefully. I'm definitely getting both sides. Or you can do them to the front. Down and up. Once those get easy, pick up some weights, and then you can do them that way. So that's some progressions for squats. Next, we're going to do push-ups. So the earlier progression for push-ups is wall push-ups. So wall push-ups, you need a wall. And basically, you want to be leaning your weight into the wall. So at the very first level, you would have your heels on the floor, so you have less weight. Next level, you'd be up on the balls of your feet, so you have a little more weight pressing into your hands. Inhale, exhale back. Your entire body moving as a plank. The most common mistake here is to either let the low back go or to leave the hips behind so you don't have as much weight going with you as opposed to everything at once. The next level up from there is to get a lower surface, so maybe a tabletop, a countertop, something that's definitely stable enough. This chair I'm using for demonstration purposes because of the angle that it keeps my wrist. I wouldn't choose to do this for very many repetitions, but just to give you an idea. So it's just the same thing. And also my hand should be a little wider. So exhale up, inhale down, exhale up, and again, moving as a plank. And then I'll show you the final version of push-ups, which is modified push-ups. So modified push-ups, ideally padding under your knees, and then you're going to come forward to a plank position, feet up, When you're like this, you're on your kneecaps. So once you lift your knees up, you're sort of past your kneecaps. And once again, body moving as a plank. Inhale down, exhale up. You want your hands fairly wide so that your elbows land over your wrists. Down and up. And then the next level would be a full push-up, down and up. Next, we have overhead press. So overhead press, I think one of the most common mistakes with overhead press is using too little weight. That said, for starters, start relatively conservatively because shoulders can be vulnerable to injury. So, but if you know, the first day you do them, maybe you use 5 pounds or 2 pounds, you know, depending on where you are. And if you can do 2 sets of 15 very easily, you don't feel it all sore, increase. Here I have 10 pounds. And you want to do, I call this goalpost arm. So elbows bent. And I have my elbows a little bit out in front of me. I'm not flat. The natural angle for the shoulder is with the you want to be able to see your elbows in your peripheral vision. And then you exhale up and lower down. The weights are going in an arc, together and apart. Exhale up, lower down. So then the next level for that would be perhaps do it in horse stance. So you could do it stationary, or you could do everything up, everything down, everything up, everything down. So adding in a little more to the exercise. And of course, increasing the weight as needed. Next, we have bicep curls. So here, you want your shoulders nice and wide. A very common way for people to do bicep curls is with their shoulders rolled forward. I am exaggerating, but you want to keep your shoulders as wide as possible. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Here too, you can add legs. So you could do everything down, everything up, everything down, maybe 8 on each side. Another option is doing it on one foot. So you throw in a little bit of balance work while you're doing it, and then there too you do 8 on one side and then 8 on the other side. Or you could do lunges. So down and up, down and up. So there's all sorts of ways to progress that one. Rows, probably want a fair amount of weight for. And ideally, when you're starting to learn them, a mirror. So you can go sideways to the mirror and check that your back is flat. So you don't want to be here. You want same, so I have a neutral spine here. I'm hinging at my hips. I bend my knees so I can keep my back nice and straight. Exhale up, lower down. You're just bringing your elbows right into your rib cage. Exhale up, lower down. And I think of lengthening out, not through the top of my head, but the roof of my mouth. That's sort of more the top of your spine. So anyway, that's just one idea for how to think of keeping that length as you're bending forward like that. And then the next one is flies for your chest muscles. So you could do this on the floor, just lie on the floor, or on a weight bench. My favorite is to do it on the physio ball. Whenever you're either lying back on a weight bench or someone's handing you weights, you always want to bring them as close to your center of gravity as possible. That's where you start from, right in the middle. If I'm going to walk out on my physio ball, I keep my weights at my center of gravity. I walk out. Now I'm going to bring them, but they're going to be over my chest, so still keeping them at my center of gravity, and then I'm going to press up from there. So if you're doing these on a physio ball, you want to try and get as close to a tabletop as possible, so not drop down, but as a tabletop, shoulder blades, no matter what position you're in. I need to kind of scooch my shoulder blades. There we go. And if you're doing it on a physio ball, you want the weight on your shoulders. My head is supported, but I am not supporting my weight on my head. That's too much for the neck. Then imagine you are hugging a big ball, and the ball grows and shrinks, grows and shrinks. Inhale down and exhale up. Inhale down and exhale up. When I'm done, I come back to my midline and then put my weights down from there. And next we have deadlift. So now I need to pick my weights up. I'm going to use my knees, not my back. So I bend, I keep my back in as neutral a position as possible and lift from there. Just, you know, it's a good practice to be mindful of that while you're doing weightlifting because it's safer for your back, and then hopefully it'll help you be more mindful of that lifting in life. So deadlift, I don't have particularly flexible hamstrings, so I don't go very far with my deadlift. So a deadlift, you keep your legs straight and your back straight. So you're just hinging at your hips, going forward, forward. That's it. If I keep going forward, see how my low back stays there? That's the extent of my flexibility, so that's as far as I'm going to go. So I just go to there. If I went further, my low back wouldn't be going with me. So again, sideways to a mirror can be very helpful for this one. And it's just lower down and come up. And this is a nice hamstring exercise. The hamstrings are on the backs of your thighs. So that's deadlifts. And I don't have a progression for that, just add more weight. There's no other particular progression. And then last but not least, this is a fantastic core exercise. It also works your chest, anterior delts, the front of your shoulders. So modified plank, that's with padding under your knees, and you just want to be as straight as possible. A common mistake here is to leave your hips back here, or to have your what's called the anterior pelvic tilt. So you want to make sure that you're nice and straight, that you have your tailbone aiming towards your knees if you're in a modified plank. If you're in a full plank, then your tailbone is aiming towards your heels, not the ceiling. So that's a full plank. Another thing that is great for the abdominals to add here is to alternate between modified full plank and modified elbow plank, and then back to full, and then lead with the other arm, and going back and forth between the two. Good arm exercise, good core exercise. Just going to check and see if I have anything else on the list. That's it. Thanks so much.